Hi, I'm Jordan McDonald, staff writer with GovCAEO Media and Research, and I'm here at HammerCON 2025 with Dr. Diba Hadi, Principal Director of the Cyber Academic Engagement Office. Dr. Hadi, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me here.
Dr. Hadi, you are in a very unique role with being the Principal Director of the Cyber Academic Engagement Office, an office that's only been around for a short bit of time. Can you walk me through your journey to get to this position and how you came into such a prominent role?
I have led some organizations, startup organizations or startup programs on a statewide level, and also some of the academic programs on a national level. My previous experiences has been consistently with 32 years, 40 years of in academia, from community colleges to universities, developing curricula, developing actual programs, writing manuals for different programs and educational programs. And simultaneously, I was regional director at my last post, or at least on the executive side, where I managed a fleet of people and redesigned the whole policies and procedures for a state program. So the diversity is there, developing an entire curriculum for regional studies for Special Forces Group, developing curricula for computer scientists, or actually managing their training program for the FBI. So the experiences have led me to actually be in this community or accept this position because I was doing some of this on a different level. I am not new to this community, as I've been involved in the NCAA community since 2015. So this was a very good opportunity. The mission is phenomenal, and this is something that I've always wanted to accomplish when I was with the FBI. And now at this platform, it is not only that we can influence other organizations, but as a whole DOD and all government. So this is a phenomenal mission, and I'm very excited about it.
So, Dr. Hadi, the mission, definitely something I want to talk about. Could you help me understand the Cyber Academic Engagement Office's mission and why it's so important?
Our mission is to inspire the next generation of cyber talent for DOD and for the nation, right? So you cannot get more excited about this mission. And we do this foundationally through programs that will be impactful, that programs that are already impactful. So just to assess the programs, educational, academic programs on the DOD side, and bringing some of the best practices from the higher educational institutions is something that I don't think anyone is in this position to do this. So that's what makes it phenomenal, because foundationally, we are addressing this.
Yeah, absolutely. And so as the principal director, could you help me understand day-to-day what your role is like? How do you engage with these academic institutions to get some of the best cyber talent?
The office is very young, as you know, but we have had major accomplishments in the last 6 to 8 months. We are very fortunate that we have over 480 institutions in one of our programs under the NCAE program. So with over 480 universities, we are able to influence some of the direction or some of what they produce out of these universities. Therefore, we are in a very unique position. For example, yesterday, met with a group within DOD, and they were clueless about the Centers of Academic Excellence community. And they were working with 85 universities. That's part of our assessment, that we're trying to assess all of this. And we just want to know how these universities are tied to centers of academic excellence, and if they are not, they should be, because centers of academic excellence or excellence universities are mandated to use DOD's work frame in their curricula to educate the next generation of cyber talent for us. So this goes hand in hand, and this is my focus right now is the existing universities that we have, and through our assessment with DOD, whatever else, as many other universities we are going to find, we're going to encourage them to become part of the CAE community because, again, we are looking for the next generation of cyber. How do we do that? We gave universities the information. We gave them job roles and say, this is what we need in the next year, in the next 2 years. And they need to shift their curricula accordingly to produce these students. So this is how we are influencing the mission or universities.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you talked about this a little bit, but I do want to ask outright, this larger mission of reaching the DoD's workforce goals. It's, we've heard a lot over the past couple of years how there's a lack of cyber talent within the department. How does something like the CAEO work towards bridging that gap and engaging with, as you mentioned, these academic institutions to find that next generation of cyber talent?
We are accomplishing this through many avenues or many projects, initiatives. Scholarship is one of them. Research is another one that we give out to universities where both faculty and students participate in research. In addition to research, we also gave capacity building grants. That also helps institutions, involves students and faculty. So through this method, we are, and again, institutions are not the only entities that we are focused on. We are also focused on industry. We are also focused on other governmental entities to make sure that we are utilizing funds appropriately, streamline the process, and avoid duplications. For example, if BI offers, or CISA offers, they offer K-12 programs. If they are offering K-12 programs, I want to stay away from some of those initiatives to make sure that we are covering other areas, that we are not duplicating efforts, but collaborating. So those are the kinds of things that we are involved in.
Yeah, and so, as you mentioned earlier in the conversation, this office is really young. Could you help me understand some of the growth that you've seen as you stepped into the role over the past year?
We are still assessing as to how many entities, how many agencies, how many programs, how many initiatives are within DOD to be able to streamline all of that, to make sure that one hand knows about the other hand, right? Mm-hmm. Right now, DOD does a great job of collecting data as they are issuing funds, grants, scholarships, camps. They do a great job of compiling data. But all of that data is not shared. It is in silo. It is individually collected. So we are in the initial phases of trying to get all of this data into one system where we can report this coherently to Congress or to the executives.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so this year has been a very eventful year within the DoD, within government as a whole. Could you run me through some of the office's goals for 2025 and how you're looking to achieve those?
So our goal is first and foremost to collect data, because all the decisions out of this office is going to be data-driven. Collect all of the data that we can, collaborate and be the conduit between DOD and academia, and again, partnership, collaboration, through partnership, as the slogan in HammerCON is winning together. And I wholeheartedly believe that if we combine our forces, if we collaborate and communicate, that we can win together. And this office is going to be nothing but winning together with our partners.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned the office being the conduit between the DOD and academia, but it's also in a lot of ways partnering with industry. Could you help me understand that partnership and how you engage with not only academia, not only within the DOD, larger DOD, but with industry as well?
So industry is a very important partner for us. We can learn a lot from them because they're a bit faster in some aspects. We are already, through these kinds of events, a lot of industry partners contact us. So we are trying to assess and see what is beneficial for us. And also through our own DOD components, we come across a lot of industry partners that they work with. So we are trying to tap into all of these partners to see who does what in hopes of collecting best practices from them as well as academia and other governmental entities.
Mm-hmm. There's a huge mandate within the CAEO. Could you help me understand, as you're navigating these relationships between the DOD, academia, industry, what are some of the challenges of that leadership role, and how do you engage with them?
The challenge that we are currently facing is resources, right? Without resources, you really cannot accomplish a lot. So that's one of our challenges at the moment that we are looking into. How do we, probably cannibalize is not the right word, but how do we find resources? How do we maximize some of our exposure? For example, I was just listening. This is my first event with HammerCON. And as I was listening to the president, I was like, they could be doing a lot of outreach for us. So these are the kinds of things that we are trying to leverage because of limited resources at the moment. We are trying to leverage universities, other partners, entities like this, conferences, so they can get the word out, so they can educate the rest of the community that we exist and this is our mission and how can they help. So we're trying to go that route, but eventually we will have to probably resource this office a bit better.
Absolutely. Dr. Hadi, we've talked a lot in a very short amount of time about the office from the past to the present, but I also want to ask about the future and what that holds as we look towards the, I guess, back half of 2025 and then maybe beyond this year. What are some of the goals and initiatives that you're looking to engage in with the office?
So one of the primary goals for me is to collect data. A system where we can report all of this data to Congress. Because right now, I believe wholeheartedly that DOD does a lot of good work. They have a lot of research grants out there. They have a lot of summer camps, scholarships, you name it. But that data is not collectively reported or in a collective manner to Congress. Therefore, I think a system of systems that would capture that is one of the primary goals for this office for 25. Assessment, streamlining processes within DOD is another priority for us because we have to know what we have, the position that we are in to recommend to some of these entities or actually educating them that there are other entities who are doing the same work you're doing. So either you merge, you learn from one another, do best practices, what can we do to help? So we cannot do any of that without having the right data, having the assessment. Assessment is a bit slow, but through our assessment, we're finding a lot on a daily basis. Again, with limited personnel or limited resources, we have done a great job of identifying a whole lot under DOD. So that is a second priority for us, if not simultaneously two first priorities.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Hadi, I'm really excited to see the growth and continued growth of the office. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Jordan.
Right,
Appreciate it.
GovCast, along with Cybercast and HealthCast, is a production of GovCIO Media and Research. For more podcasts and to check out the other shows, head to govciomedia.com.